Okay, everybody. So for the second drawing, I want us to go ahead and draw a fist. And in order to do that, we need to remember a few things that I forgot to mention from this first drawing that we did. So when our hands are resting, right, we don't typically like splay our fingers out like this. This is really not how we do it. You know, this is like our third grade turkey drawings when you trace around your finger, and that is absolutely not what we are doing in this lesson. What we are doing instead is trying to study kind of what the relaxed hand looks like, really trying to understand that the hand is a simple collection of shapes. And once you start figuring out how to block in those shapes, you're going to become a much better drawer, whether you're drawing a hand, whether you're drawing a face, whether you're drawing a tree, a flower, it doesn't really matter. Once you start learning how to break things down, it becomes so much easier, I promise. So I've got a different color marker here. We're going to use a red marker, and I just wanted to point out that with this hand, right, you notice that these angles, right, boom, ooh, that marker is actually dead. Let's try this one. There we go. That these angles are all going outward, right? We've got all these angles that are kind of pushing out at an angle, and we've got this big kind of top space, right? So we're creating this like angle that goes outward, right? And is forcing outward on our drawing. I'm gonna flip to a new page because obviously the next thing that we're gonna be drawing is the closed hand. So what we're going to be looking at next is our fist and learning how to draw our fist. There are so many different ways, right? Some of you may want to draw a fist for your next project. Maybe you want to draw a peace sign. Maybe you want to draw a peace sign like this. And it all kind of starts with an understanding of what that closed fist looks like, which is the exact opposite of our open hand, whether you're having it in your political poster either like this or like this, right? So we are going to flip to the next page, and I want to work on drawing a fist for you guys. So we are going to start in the same way that we started this first drawing. So if you notice, right, I have my trapezium, right, my kind of like tilted house, kind of just look like a tilted house, right, my tilted house on my actual hand, right? Now when we have a fist, we have that same exact shape. So let's just think about it, right? If I have my closed fist like this, we still have that trapezium shape, only the angle in this case is going up in the opposite direction. So let's go ahead and start with that. And then we're going to bring it down. You'll notice, see, if I'm doing a gesture drawing, I'm making a lot of kind of quick marks, right? This is not trying to get super accurate. I'm more or less just trying to get a basic understanding of what it is I'm doing, right? That's why we don't care so much about perfect accuracy in this drawing. We're just trying to become better observers. So this is the start of our fist, right? Pretty simple, right? So go ahead and get this down, right? And we're gonna do a little bit of a closer look in the next video where we move on to the more complex drawing of the fingers. However, what I do want you to recognize now is rather than splaying outwards and going out in this direction, right, our fingers are going to come inward. So I'm looking at my, oops, nope, that isn't working. Looking at my hand, definitely gonna need to wash my hands after this, right? In this case, our fingers are our lines are going to be coming inward. So I'm actually gonna go ahead, I'm gonna draw that in red, right? And you'll notice that they do not come all the way down. They go to the center of that trapezium. So let's go ahead and get that down. And then we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, I had to take a breather there. So let's just go ahead and keep going with this fist drawing. So the first thing, right, that I wanna add, I want you to take a close look, and think about the knuckles, right? Think about the fact that our knuckles are not flat. So you can see I've got this flat shape here, right? The top of the trapezium. So in drawing my gesture drawing, I am trying to understand that the fingers, when they are folded over, also have these like lumps and bumps. So I know I'm drawing so much on my hands, guys, but we've got these kind of like mountains here that curve, right? We've got mountain, a mountain, a mountain, and a mountain. And I want to transfer that to my drawing. So they kind of follow in a downward, in a downward pattern, moving that way, moving down the top of the trapezium. So I have got kind of the bottoms of my knuckles, right? My knuckles, I'm not going like this, but we've got the bottoms of those knuckles. And then we have the top knuckles, right? Which are actually the middle knuckles that are going to be folded over. So I'm going to work on just getting 4 mountains drawn so that you can see, right? And they are all, let's see, roughly the same size, except for this one is a little bit smaller, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get a mountain, a mountain, a mountain, and I'm going to make that one just a little bit smaller, right? And now we've got the tops of the knuckles in our trapezium. So this is a little bit confusing because if you look, right, you'll notice that this thumb is covering up 2 of my fingers, right? So if I'm holding this, if I'm holding my hand like this, you'll notice that you can't see a line all the way down 2 of those fingers. You'll also notice on this side, right, that there is a bit of skin in between the edge of that pinky finger and the edge of my hand in general. So I need to account for this space right here. That's why I have this angle right here, and I am going to go ahead and start there and start blocking in rectangular shapes up to the point where my thumb begins. So I'm going to go ahead, and again, this follows the same kind of angle as the tops of my hand. You can see that the bottoms of these knuckles is moving in an angular kind of way up towards this direction, up towards kind of the right, actually it was the left hand direction. So I'm going to go ahead and we have mountains here, right? So this one is a relatively short mountain, and I am going to go ahead and draw it like that. Then we have got another mountain. Again, trying to remember what this looks like while I'm not looking at my actual hand is proving to be a little bit difficult, but that's okay. I am doing my best here, right? My advice to you, for you guys, is to look at the hands on the screen that I am giving you guys as an example, which I should have thought about before I started making this video, but that's okay. Then our next finger here, we have got our next knuckle, which is continuing to move upward right in this angle. Then we have the next one, which is moving upward. And I've got my mountains. And now I've got that pesky thumb that's in the way, right? Where I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do with that? Not to worry, right? That is when I'm gonna hop over here, and we're going to work from the side and work from the left-hand side, and we're gonna work our way in, right? So if you'll see, right, our thumb kind of pops out of the page, it goes right in, let's see, part of that trapezium, probably like, I'd say it starts right here, and then it comes down, flares out a little bit, and then again, it's gonna connect back down to the bottom of that trapezium, which then does what? Connects to the wrist, right? Remember what I said in the earlier video, that wrist always kind of flares out a little bit and connects. So we are starting to see general fist shape here, which is good. However, what we don't have yet is we don't have the fact that that thumb is covering up part of my index finger here. So I am gonna go ahead and draw it. Remember that the top of the finger is flat, right? It is not rounded. So you can see right here, this is actually a flat space or a flat line. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to draw it flat, and then underneath it, this is where you get a curve, right? So we've got our next curve, which lumps all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And then we have a little bit of, we have some wrinkles here, right? Some folds of skin that may come down and, right, show up down here. And the thumb folds into, kind of folds into that hand. So we've got a little bit of wrinkles. Now what is going to make that look like a thumb more than anything? Well, first we've got to tuck the other finger down below it. So I'm gonna create a little bit of space here. I'm gonna create these lines here. And the thing that is going to make it look truly like a thumb is to get that nail on there. So our nails, right? Our nails are typically, right? They're typically like a rounded shape, right? And we are going to show that by drawing kind of a crescent moon on the top of this thumb. So you will see we are getting a crescent moon shape. And now I'm going to do a little bit more shading. I'm going to bring down, right, this a little bit, push that out a little bit, because there's actually a little bit more space there. Bring it down, increase the space a little bit, and maybe account for the fact that we've got some bends in the knuckles here, right? We've got a little bit of a hand shading, and there we've got our very first drawing of a hand. Granted, not perfect, but better than nothing.